when it comes to deciding who gets an orchid hybrid named after them, is there a process that's in place, Philip?
Well, we usually name orchids after distinguished dignitaries, such as heads of state, heads of government, and royalty who are in Singapore on state or official visits. For example, in 2024, we've had 4 orchids named so far, and they were named in honor of the prime ministers of Laos, Cambodia, Ethiopia, and New Zealand.
Okay. Mark, let's bring you in.
Yes.
We can't ignore the obvious here. There's a beautiful hybrid orchid right in front of you there. Perhaps you can tell us more about it, the qualities that this orchid represents.
So this orchid is Papilionanda ASEAN Golden Jubilee, and it was named in 2017 to commemorate 50 years of the ASEAN. It is, one of its parents is Papilionanda Josephine Bambero, and that plant has been a staple of the botanic gardens, some of our breeding lines, and that is able to create some of this apricot-colored orchid.
Okay, and this is one of the stories that's featured in this book right here.
Yes.
Yes, and it was to commemorate the 50th anniversary of ASEAN back in 2017.
Yes, that's right.
Some of these hybrids, they take about 7 years to develop. What does it take to cultivate a plant like this? Because I understand not all crosses are successful, and we're looking at factors like infertile parent plants, for example, or even rot in the seed pods.
Well, I could give you a rundown of how to make a new orchid hybrid.
Yeah.
So it starts from taking the pollen from the one plant, and which we will call the father, and we will put it onto the stigmatic surface of another plant, which we will call the mother. We will then wait for the seed pod to develop, and after about 3 months to 6 months, we'll be able to bring it to the orchid laboratory in the botanic gardens, and that is a clean lab, and then we will let it grow and mature in flasks and germinate there. And usually after a few years, once it's grown to a maximum size in the flask, we will bring it back to the orchid garden nursery, which is outdoors, and we will slowly acclimatize the plant to an outdoor environment and put it in what we call a community pot. That's a small pot about this size of many of these small plantlets.
I have to ask though, what is the success rate? And for this particular plant, how long did it take to cultivate?
A plant of this size probably took about 7 to 8 years.
7 to 8 years. And what's the success rate of those processes that you were sharing with us earlier?
Well, it's hard to determine the success rate. Sometimes as breeders, we want to be very adventurous. We will try things that are very difficult to do, which involves different, we can do what we call intergeneric hybrids, so hybrids of different genera, and sometimes that can create something like what we call a breakthrough in breeding, or sometimes you can work within a genera, a genus, which is easier to do. So it really varies.